Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode number 23 of the Stevenage Football Club podcast, hosted by myself and Boro fan Matt Farley, along with guests of the podcast discussing everything Boro, everything League Two, every week of the season. Now, fellas, we're off to Wembley.
Not quite.
Que sera, whatever will
not
be.
Quite.
Will
I booked my
be.
train tickets already.
Come on then. Obviously, we will discuss a little bit about last night. But what was it 3 wins from seeing our mighty Stevenage Football Club at Wembley? What's going on there?
Training ground.
It is our training. What 1-2 lost one, haven't we there?
Yeah.
Wow. So come on in. What do you reckon? As a professional football club, we'll go back to Wembley and do the business on the 5th of April.
Certainly a good opportunity.
Let's see who we get in the next round.
Three games ain't a lot.
When is the draw? It's tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow,
7:15?
7:15.
Sky Sports. I will
You
be
just know we're going to
tuning
get
in.
Exeter away.
No, do you know what, fellas? It is great to be sitting here, and I know we've started the podcast a bit differently today for the listeners, but it is great to be sitting here and knowing that our beloved Boro are only 3 wins away from getting to Wembley. I know the competition's been boycotted massively, but I love seeing Stevenage at Wembley, and it'd be great to go back there, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
and see our football
and also
club.
a bit of prize money as well. Into the
That's it. But a big, massive welcome back to the listeners. Now, obviously, last week we didn't have a podcast. I know it's every week of the season, but we had a little break, didn't we, last week?
It's been.
Did you enjoy the break?
Well, yes and no. I missed Boro, but at the same time, I'm thankful I missed.
Do you know what? I went to watch Derby QPR on Saturday.
You did?
I did go up there. We saw Ilias, but he was on the bench. Luke Amos played, it was brilliant. But I can't be honest, I really missed Boro. Really missed it. I said to Aidan up there and the boys, I said, do you know what? I feel a bit... it was like cheating on your girlfriend. it was no, I hate to say it, but
And
what
if
I mean
you're cheating on your girlfriend, you at least want to make it with a hot girlfriend, don't you?
But I really missed Boro. I was a bit gutted that there was no game to go to go and see the team play.
I took the opportunity to work and earn a bit more money. So
there you go, Danny, win-win.
Yeah, that's it.
No, sorry to listeners for no podcast last week. Again, it was just due to the fact that we had no game on Saturday. It was quite nice to have a bit of a break. There are some things that people have been asking me on Twitter about the podcast. We will get into that later. With me today, 2 guests, 2 regulars. They probably need no introduction anymore. So I can't even say that, Rhys. What's going on?
Haven't done it in 2 weeks.
Honestly, I think it's put me off. Need no introducing onto this podcast. A massive welcome, though, nevertheless, to Boro fan. Not going to say it today, actually. Boro fan and Harley 11 captain. I'm going to come in for today. Rhys Donnelly. Rhys, welcome back.
Thank you for having me once again.
How have you been since Birmingham?
I've been in recovery mode ever since.
Now, you weren't sick, and that was a positive.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You weren't actually sick.
Sick.
That was a positive for me.
You survived.
Did you enjoy the night out?
I enjoyed the night out.
It was good. Come on.
What
was your moment of the night? Come on, let's hear it.
Oh, I don't know. What was my moment of the night? I walked into the mirror a few times, the mirror going up the stairs.
Oh, yeah. That's a bit of an awkward one when you're drunk.
I think it was all of us in prison singing Wonderwall.
Yeah, that was a good moment, wasn't it? What a night, though, I got to be honest.
It just hit midnight, we was about to watch the Stevenage and there was all the Boro fans.
I liked it when it went midnight and we all went, Mark Sampson's put in the club. And everyone was looking thinking, who are they? I was like, we're Stevenage, we're bottom of League Two, who cares?
We're just having a good time, you know?
Mark Sampson's non-racist army.
Thanks. But good to have you back on, Rhys. It's great to have you here again, mate. Great to have you here. Another welcome back, massive welcome back to Boro fan. Danny Lusby. Danny, welcome back.
It's a pleasure to be here, as always.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. And how are you after Birmingham, mate?
A lot better.
A lot better.
A lot better. I had 2 weeks to recover, so
I think he was still recovering last night.
Well, the thing is, I haven't seen you since Birmingham.
Yeah.
Really?
Obviously, I was working last week. I was a bit busy last week and this week, really.
Yeah,
so
it was a good night out, though, wasn't it?
It was brilliant, yeah. I feel we all got pretty drunk.
We have to with Stevenage.
Can I just say, though, one thing that I remember, I thought prison was great. And it's really funny because this moment 2 weeks ago, we were sitting here talking about, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But the night out was great, I thought.
Can we just do a whole podcast on this?
Yeah,
on our
the thing is,
that's the main topic.
The thing is, I think we could could do a podcast just on the night out.
It was
Pizzagate, not going to go into that because we can't. I don't think that's this, is it?
Taking Nathan home.
Oh, taking Nathan home.
Oh my God.
Callum knocking over drinks in Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
And I remember the security guard looking at me and I was like, Callum, rein it in, you're going to get kicked. He was hammered,
Nick falling
wasn't he?
asleep whilst holding his shots.
Oh, it was a messy night, but I love going to see Boro away, and especially the City away days. They're great, aren't they? They're great days.
Yeah.
It was a good game of football as well.
Yeah, it was.
On
We'll get into
Saturday.
that.
Despite being a 0-0, it was a really good game of football.
Clean sheet,
Yeah.
another draw, as we always say. But good to have you back, Danny. Great to have you. And again, I ain't seen you since Birmingham, mate, so it's been quite nice to have
Yeah,
you.
you're a stranger.
Yeah, literally, mate. Okay, fellas, now we've got plenty to talk about tonight. Obviously, we've had, 10 days nearly off of obviously the game last night, but last podcast being 2 weeks ago. Now, on the last podcast, we were doing the build-up to, the vital game at Walsall. I think we all listed it. We went into that game off the back of a loss at Peterborough, but a good performance. And I think we went into Walsall kind of saying, don't lose that game. We want to win, but take a point from the match. We ended up drawing 0-0. It was a very odd game, in my opinion. Probably sitter of the season from Jason Cowley. I don't think we'll see another sitter than that.
Sitter of the decade.
Sitter of the decade. But then followed with a couple of other chances, then hitting the bar in the last kick of the game, which I don't know how that didn't go in. But I think we walked away from that game saying, really good point. Another clean sheet, 8th draw of the season, which shows that we're hard to beat in a lot of our games. Reece, I'll come to you with it. Obviously, 23rd, 14 points off the bottom. I know we've got the same points as Morecambe, but off with goal difference. I think it was a really good point that day, wasn't it?
It was a good point, but enough? Possibly not. I think it was a sign that the ship's been steadied now. I don't know how many games I'm going to walk away from this season going, we're lacking ruthlessness.
So many chances,
I
wasn't it?
think it was 17 shots, and I know people go, only 2 on target. About 8 were blocked, I think.
Yeah. I mean, even the sitter, that was blocked, but he obviously kicked it.
Yeah,
didn't he?
it's just...
I couldn't believe what I saw when that happened.
It's quite beyond belief, to be fair, that I thought the defence was very, very good, but when you miss that many chances, the opposition smell blood.
I've got to be honest, I completely agree. I thought we played well for the team that we had. I will say this, for me, it was great to see Digby come on. I've wanted to see him all season. I thought he was great. He was one of my man of the matches along with Farman, to be honest. I thought he was great.
I would throw Louis Fernandez.
Yeah, Louis and Craig McCall-Smith worked his socks off as well. I thought
he
those
got
players
fouled
were great.
about 20 times.
Yeah, the referee, honestly. I thought it was a really good performance. I thought it was a good point. Obviously, we wanted to win, but another clean sheet, as I said, 8 draws. Defensively, I thought we were great. Some of those, Van Cooten's challenge in the last ditch of the game, Farman saves, Digby's clearances. I thought the defence were great. Again, it's a story of lacking in front of goal. 12 goals in 18 games isn't great, is it? And I think that was evident. What were your thoughts on it, Dan? Obviously 0-0, good point, but could have been 3 points and should have been, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the frustrating thing about it. We should have got all 3 points. Cowley had just a simple chance, to put the ball in the back of the net.
I'm not blaming Cowley, no one is.
No, he didn't mean to do what he did.
If he had scored that could have won us the game. Would have been a 1-0 win and a clean sheet, and we would have taken that. But I thought, in the second half, Walsall grew into the game, and I thought, our defence were sort of sitting back from their attack because they had loads of chances as much as we did. They hit the bar at the end, and they could have nicked a win themselves, really. So you could say a draw's a fair result there.
Do you know, I did say, it's funny, about 5 minutes before kick-off, I went, this game's got draw written all over it. But you say those things, didn't you? You never know. And when it happened, I thought, it was always going to be a draw here, wasn't it? But
I thought the performance was good, though.
Yeah, I think one thing that I was a little bit disappointed, my dad said this as well, we were in the away end together, something that we were disappointed about was sometimes the quality on the ball. We gave the ball away a lot. There was a lot of times we got the ball.
Especially
and Tim limited it and it was like, what are you doing? Keep your ball,
It was
it was
too many
loose balls.
There was definitely two sides lacking in confidence.
Yeah, I think you could see that we.
think.
I think you could see that we were both down the bottom, couldn't you? It was that was a disappointing thing for me. The quality on the ball.
I thought it was a good football match. I really did. It was probably one up there for one of the better 0-0s I've seen as a football supporter. I think.
I'd go along with that.
Sampson spoke about it for five odd minutes in his interview. We're not lacking anything else, but the ability to score goals, and it's the hardest thing to do in football, and it's the most important.
Well, if you look at our options in that final third as well, we're missing a few players there. So we're relying on Cowley and Craig McHale-Smith at minute to really put in the goals. And obviously, I know Cowley scored a couple last night. We'll come on to that, but. It was disappointing, and that chance, my God, we started cheering behind the goal. We went, yeah, and it was like, has he missed it? Has he not scored that? It was unbelievable.
I think it was rather representative of our season.
Charlie Carter had a few chances as well.
I thought Chaz give it a
one
go.
thing I noticed with Charlie Carter is he would cut in, and you saw in his face, it just kind of went, oh my God, I need to score, and it was kind of panic, and I think he's almost trying too hard. I think we're lacking that confidence, we're lacking the belief, and right now I think we're lacking the instinct. And as Sampson said, are we going to be the nearly group of players, the nearly team, or are we going to be the team and the players?
Yeah,
and to do that, we have to score the chances we did. I thought their keeper made a great save, but
so did Farman, didn't he?
Yeah, so did
for about
Farman.
8 or so, didn't he?
A few, so, but the ship's been steadied now, and that's not an easy task.
The
gap
agree,
between losers and hard to beat is a bigger and harder one to bridge than that between hard to beat and winners.
I mean, there was something, couple of things. Obviously, the stats thing that I look at. Obviously, 12 goals in 18 league games isn't ideal. That's not great. No. One positive from that though, 9th in the defensive form out of 24. I mean, that is, I can't get my head around this, because to be 9th out of 24 teams with our defence,
considering the position,
but then the goal scoring is bottom, and you just look at it and you think, well, it just tells the whole season, doesn't it?
I do want to say, I looked at that table, and we're above Swindon and Crewe, and that's excellent. But you look who's top, and it's Morecambe.
So true.
It kind of tells the story.
It's crazy, because if someone come up to us now and said, "Oh, tell me about your season," you get those two stats, and you give them the goal scoring stats and the defensive stats, and they go, "There you go," and they go, "Oh, just not scoring goals." And that is literally it with our season, isn't it? Just not scoring goals.
I think for shots we're 6th in the league as well.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? I agree with you though. I think it is a thing that where the boys get in front of goal, and I think there is a lot of pressure to put the ball in the back of the net.
You can see it in their heads. I just think they're almost thinking too much. I don't want you to become like Ronaldo of League Two. We want you to be Jason Cowley. We want you to be Charlie Carter. Don't think too much.
I think what we need to do is just whack 3 past the team, 2 or 3.
Yeah, we have.
And then I think that confidence will change in front of goal. I really
last
do.
night, and I know we'll come on to it, was the comfortable win, and that would have increased.
Saturday is a good chance to score 3 or more goals.
Well, they're managerless as well, so
They increase. We thought last night was going to be the comfortable victory, massive boost of confidence, and then
great way to start the month.
Not an easy place to go, Colchester.
We introduced the Stevenage aspect to the game.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
it showed a lot of character, and it is there, and we know we can score goals. It's just about doing it.
I completely agree. I think there's a lot of potential with this team, and I just think we need to get on a winning run. We need to get a couple of results in the bag, which we're doing. I think Mark said again. I know we're going to come on to last night, but he said in the last 11 games we've won 5, drawn 4, lost 2, and that's a massive improvement considering how we started the season.
And there's fans out there saying that we haven't.
Yeah, look. 1-5, drawn 4, lost 2. That is up the top of the table in the form aspect.
Yeah,
so, there's improvements there.
Keep that up all season, we quite simply will not be relegated from the league.
I completely agree, but 23rd, 14 points. A massive game this Saturday. Again, we'll come on to that. Now, I would normally do a 3-word analysis, but we didn't do it for Birmingham. We didn't do it for Birmingham because I was very hungover and I forgot.
We know you was.
So I was struggling, I've got to be honest. So
very messy night.
That could be your 3-word analysis, Dan. So normally we would do a 3-word analysis, but we won't. So we'll move on. Obviously, we didn't have a game last Saturday. I think it's actually quite a nice break for the team, actually, to have a bit of time off, rest those.
Yeah,
bit of practice and training.
Yeah, a bit of practice and training. I saw the players trained on Saturday as well, so that was evident last night.
One league game in 28 days. I think that's a massive pressure.
Do you know what as well? That break could come back as a massive favour to us with this hectic schedule we've got coming up. That actually might be the reason why we go.
It's kind of taking a step out.
I completely agree. So we'll move on. Last night was a very interesting night. It was our round 2 of our leasing.com trophy knockout tie away at Colchester. For me, I look at, and I've said this on the podcast prior, I've looked at this competition as a really important competition for our club. I think we'll use this almost like a fake FA Cup to, 1, get finances and 2, improve the form. We ended up winning 2-1 away at Colchester to go through into round 3. So as it stands, boys, 3 wins and we're at Wembley. So
quarterfinals, I believe?
It's round 3.
Round 3.
Then quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals. So with 3 wins away from Wembley.
Okay.
It was a big performance from the team. As Reece just said there, not scoring at Walsall, the chances that we had was a real stinker for us. So to come into this game and for Jason Cowley to score 2 goals was really important crucial after that Walsall drought where he missed the stinker, didn't he? Reece, I come to you. 2-1, really good performance, especially in that first half. It could have been 3-0 Boro, couldn't it, with the missed penalty as well. What did you think last night? It was great to see the team improve after that loss there back in October, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you just mentioned it there. If you look where we was when Mark just took
massive improvement
charge at that Colchester game, when you look at that performance, it's chalk and cheese. Really,
it really is, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's make no mess about it. Colchester are a good team, and they put out their first team yesterday, bar their keeper. And first half, we absolutely dominated them.
We did.
All over.
That's what impressed me. We controlled the game, didn't we?
I know we've said this before, but it was just outstanding. There was variety in our passing. There was dictating the tempo. We had all the momentum where there was lots of shots on target. Started off well as well. 4 minutes in, we got the penalty.
It was like the second penalty we've had this season, isn't it?
I think we had 2 last season in total. So,
but the funny thing is we got the penalty, we scored it. Obviously Cowley, which was great for him. And then we got another penalty. Hang on, are we supporting Stevenage here? When have we ever got 2 penalties in like 15 minutes of the game? I don't think we ever have we? Bad that he missed it. It was a hard chase. But he did brilliantly to score the second goal. But no, a very good performance. I agree with you there. I thought the variety of passing was nice. It was really good that you played a very strong team. I think this competition is really important for our club. I think it's important for smaller clubs like us, obviously for the financial gain.
Especially if we're out of the FA Cup. And
completely agree, Danny. Being out of the league and FA Cup. So I think it's important. But I think this competition is really important to get our league form back on track. And we're doing well in this competition. Look, we've beat Wickham away, we've beat Colchester away, we've won some games in the competition. We're great. We also beat Fulham on penalties. Danny, what did you think of last night? 2-1. Massive game, as Reece just said there. The improvement from that league game there to last night's match was very evident. There was a lot of improvement. Nice to be in round 3 and only 3 games for Wembley. It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. Have we ever gone this far before?
Not in the joke.
Not in this one. The old one, we got to the quarters once, but not this format.
So yeah, it's nice to be up there in a competition. Like this, it's good for the club. Obviously, I've said, a chance to go to Wembley and earn a bit of prize money. which the club need. They need a bit of money, the club.
20k for that one.
That's
night.
good.
That's a lot of money.
So what is it, over 50 grand we've accumulated from the competition?
I think it's nearer than that, and then if we win round 3, it's another £40,000.
Wow, so
that's really
if we
good.
win round 3, we've nearly won 100k on this competition. That's great for a small club
good
like
to
us,
invest
isn't it?
on players of that money as well.
Go and get a centre forward.
Yeah,
go and get a goal scorer. Do you know
What
what I mean?
makes you think we need?
Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't there last night, but I heard it was one of the best performances of the season.
It was really good. The little contingent of us in the corner.
It was
6
wild.
rows.
Yeah.
I still can't quite believe they made us sit in our allocated seats.
I've got to be honest. Honestly,
For a leasing.com,
me and Amy turned up and he went, "Can I see your ticket?" And I was like, "Why?" I just want to see where your seat is. Stuart, I went, "Mate, this is the lead." Do you really think people are going to sit in their seats? Yeah, it's very important for you to sit in your seat tonight. It's just like, whatever, mate. And then when we won, I went, "Do you want to sit? Do you want me to sit in the seat now?" Idiot, honestly. It wasn't that important.
I mean, at half time, we was all discussing, are we actually watching Stevenage?
I know, it was like a complete different
performance. And then we got to
wasn't it?
65 minutes in and we went, we're watching Stevenage.
What really impressed me was the first half performance. I thought was great. It was a proper Stevenage performance.
Up there for
yeah,
one of the
I
best
completely
I've
agree.
seen since Godden and Schumacher.
Yeah, the passing I thought was excellent. We kept the ball really well. What I was really impressed with, we defended great. I thought Digby was great at centre half again.
Louis Fernandez.
Yeah, Louis played great. Snoopay improved a lot to his recent performances.
Got a great assist.
Great assist. Cowley was great. Macau Smith worked his socks off, as we know. But what impressed me was there was a period in the second half where we were under the cosh for 20 minutes, which is normally what we do this season, isn't it?
What we do.
Have a good first half, and then second half we're under the cosh.
Paul Farman making some good saves.
He did.
As well.
But what really impressed me about last night was when we were under the cosh, we still had the quality to go forward and create a couple of good chances.
Yeah,
Macau
we
Smith.
threatened.
I thought Macau Smith scored a bit. I think we all did, didn't we?
Yeah,
we hit the side
hit the side net.
We created some really good chances. It was great to see Louis on and Scotty to come and get minutes. Massive win for the team, and starts this month, which we know is probably one of our hardest months this season, with a win at a place like that. So couldn't go more wrong, could we? Really?
As I said,
more
Coach
right,
just a good side, and it was a different system last night, and I thought it worked rather well. I think you look Elliot List at wing back. You look at that from the off and think what. But I thought he was exceptional last night.
I completely agree. There were some good performances, and again, Farman was great again.
Charlie Lakin as well.
Charlie Lakin played on the left side, didn't he? He was great.
I
and
think you mentioned it just before recording. Paul Digby's just unbelievable.
He's great, and I loved his interview.
Yeah,
he was so honest, wasn't he, in his interview? He was just down to earth, right down the line. He sounded like a really nice guy, didn't he? As well.
Absolutely unbelievable. I can't wait till
What
we
a
see
player.
him play more because I've said it since the first time I've come on. That Digby will be huge when he comes back, and
I've got to be honest. I've looked forward to seeing Digby the whole season. When he come on against Walsall, I was like, Paul Digby. And then when he played last night, I was like, brilliant. He's got more minutes under his belt. But what I like about him, he's such a good footballer on the ball with his feet. And because he's tall, he's very athletic. He goes forward with the ball well. Do you know what? He's such a utility type of player, isn't he? As well.
He's
can play
equally as
everywhere.
good in centre mid as he is at centre.
Him up front and he'd do a job probably.
I think the one that really got me was Colchester quick team, as we know, senior, new play, etc. And there was a moment where we had all the bodies up. I think it was a corner. And they just cleared it. Someone missed the tackle.
I know the one you're on about.
And then Digby just went through him like a rocket. And it was perfect because it just ruined their whole momentum, their whole counter attack, and all the players.
That's what I want for my Boro players.
Football intelligence.
Do you know what as well? On this last podcast, I remember saying that I want to see my Stevenage start to be really difficult and horrible to play. And last night, we were flying in, we were time wasting a little. Farman got booked, so he misses the next round, doesn't he? Again. But what impressed me is we last night was really the first time that I saw us be really dirty and really horrible to
Like
play.
I said,
and
we're hard
threw
to
the ball
beat.
away and went down and made fouls, and that's how we got to play to get out this rot.
Sides do not want to play Stevenage right now.
Yeah, completely agree.
They don't.
The draw's tomorrow night,
Yep.
7:15. So when the podcast comes out, it'll actually be tonight for the listeners. Who do we want in round 3? I'd say a home draw against a Walsall or Leyton Orient. Obviously, we're only 3 wins from Wembley, so it would be really good to win again, keep the momentum going in these performances with the team. Hopefully they can transform to the league. But who do we want in the next round? Because we're only 3 wins from Wembley here. Win next round, we're in the quarter-final.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's in it.
I'm sure Reece has got the list.
I've got the list of teams here. As Mark said, people don't want to come to the Lamex right now. We're unbeaten in quite a few fixtures.
Unbeaten
And
4, I
people
think.
don't want to play us right now. So we can play home or away, still regionalised. So we can play one of Newport, MK Dons, Portsmouth, Walsall, and then one of these matches.
These matches are being
tonight.
played tonight, which is obviously Wednesday night. for the
Exeter
listeners.
versus Oxford, Peterborough versus Ipswich, and Bristol Rovers versus Orient.
So there's some ties that we can win in there, isn't there? Winnable ties.
I don't look at one of those, bar maybe Peterborough, Ipswich. I'm so bored
I've got to be
of
honest.
playing
I'm
Peterborough.
really excited. I'd love us to get to Wembley. Wouldn't it be great to go back to Wembley and see Boro play? That would be amazing. Last time we were there, we lost, didn't we? It would be good to go back and win, wouldn't it? It would be awesome.
Someone like Orient at home, or
Do you know how hard I'd take?
Newport at home.
No, I back that. I go for Orient or Walsall at home.
I would honestly
Don't get
take
Peterborough.
MK away.
Yeah, don't get
because
Peterborough.
I just believe for MK right now we're a complete mess. They don't really need this competition. They're in a massive relegation battle.
Not a bad point,
I
that.
would
Newport at home, that's winnable.
Not a bad point. For me, the two that I would have is Orient and Walsall. I think MK's a good shout with the relegation picture, and obviously they've lost Tisdale. I didn't know if got fired. Tough ties in there, but there's some winnable ties in there. I've got to be honest. So your draws tomorrow night. Is it 7:15 on Sky Sports?
7:15.
So for the listeners, please tune into that. See who we get in the Leashing.com. I do believe the tie is played on the 6th of Jan.
From the week commencing.
Week commences
So
the
it
6th
could
of
be the
Jan,
Tuesday
so
or the
probably be the
Wednesday.
7th, probably knowing us. But no, really good to go through that, boys. Obviously, again, forgot to mention, 4th competitive win as well in the season. So very good. Now, again, we will move on because it is a big podcast tonight. We've got plenty to discuss. Obviously, Boro winning last night 2-1. We move to this Saturday's crunch game for us at Stevenage. I'd like to say 19th League 2 fixture at home against Crawley Town. Now, this is a huge game for us, in my opinion. Just come off the back of 10 days off and a win on Tuesday in the Leasing.com. Massive game for us. 14 points. In my opinion, the turnaround needs to start now. This month, as we know, Crawley, Newport, Crewe, Forest Green, Plymouth, and even Northampton, if you want to throw that in there for the Christmas fixtures. It's a really difficult month for us, and on paper, I think this is probably our easiest game of the bunch. To get up to 17 points and get that platform beneath our club, I think would be a really good start. It would put us in that pack above. Danny, I'm going to come to you with your thoughts on this Saturday. It's a really big game. We all know the struggles that Crawley have gone through this week. Reece has got the homework on them. But what are your thoughts this Saturday? Must-win game, or just to win and get up to 17 points is big for our club to start keeping the turnaround going? What do you think?
A must win, absolutely. Can't afford to lose this one. Crawley are very poor at the minute, especially their away form. We're very good at home. They're very poor away. So Crawley are the underdogs, in my opinion. I know they're above us, but if you're looking at both teams and the form, we're in better form than Crawley are. So I'm looking at it thinking, we beat Colchester, not an easy place to go. Got a big result there. And I think the lads will be up for it Saturday. And, Sampson said after Walsall in his interview, he didn't sound happy, but he said, we need to start winning football matches now. We need to score more goals. And I think,
This is it, really.
Yeah,
Isn't
this
it?
is it.
The
This is
ship's
what we need to
been,
do.
as I said, the ship's been steadied.
Oh,
It's
We've
time
got
to
very
get sailing.
tough fixtures as well. You know, we've got Newport coming up, Crewe, Plymouth,
Some tough
Northampton.
games.
are in very
Exciting
good
games,
form.
don't get me wrong.
Forest Green.
Northampton away, New Year's
They're all
Day.
in the top half, pretty much.
I will say this. I'd love it if we could just get to 20 points by Christmas. If we could get up into 20 points by Christmas, then if you think that from the start of the season to the halfway point, we've accumulated 20 points, right, and we've had a pretty rubbish start to the season, you'd like to think that in the second half we'd improve. So if we can get up to 20 points and improve, we should stay up. And that's kind of the vision that I've got at the minute.
I've said
with these
it all
Christmas
along. I still don't think we'll go down, whether that be under Mark
I don't think we're the worst team
or
in this
someone
division.
else.
I've got to be honest.
Quickly on not going down, I've just received this tweet. The playing squad of Macclesfield Town are put in writing their intention not to play against Crewe on Saturday.
Oh, God.
So we have possibly Macclesfield that possibly could get kicked out the league.
If they get kicked out the league, there'll be no one going down.
Pretty much.
There is a possibility of no one going down, yeah.
I hate to say it because obviously it's bad for Macclesfield, but it's great for us, and it considering the season we're having. Oh, God. That's big. That's big news.
It's big
Very
news.
big
To
news.
match your earlier sentiments, I do think Saturday is quite important to win. As we said,
17 points. Really
we're
important, isn't it?
picking up points away from home, but I
Also,
think we have to
it's,
win our home games,
it is-
especially against.
I agree.
the
I
likes
think bottom place teams, which is us at the minute, I think the home form's got to be good. And we're unbeaten the last 4 at home, so we'd like to continue that, wouldn't we, going into this really difficult month? Reece, I know you've done your homework on Crawley. Obviously, they've had big news announced this week. Was it Monday? Was it announced Monday, Sunday?
Yeah,
something like that?
Monday, I think.
Please talk us through Crawley for all the listeners. Obviously, we know Crawley very well from the conference days. Obviously, we've won a lot of games against them and lost a fair few as well. But talk us through Saturday's opponent. Massive game for Boro, so it'll be good for you to talk us through it.
Well, yeah, obviously, as we know, Gabriel Cioffi, I've pronounced that correctly, lost his job on Tuesday, and I think it was quite a match sentiment all round that Crawley have been very unlucky, seems the wrong word, but they've been very similar to us. Yeah. They're having a lot of shots, but it's not quite paying off for them. They've had injuries, etc.
Oh, so it's similar to our gate then, almost.
Similar to our predicament, and I know quite a few of the players were quite upset by the news. It looks like they'll have an interim sort of set up for Saturday. So it's a bit hard to know how they're set up, but we do know that they do have a lot of shooting opportunities.
I know the player you're going to talk about because I mentioned him in the goal scoring list every week. Can't even say it. I'll give it a go.
Lubala.
How many goals has he got again?
He's got 8 goals this season, and in a side like Crawley, that's not too shabby at all.
Paul Digby will keep him in his pocket.
We all know about Ollie Palmer.
Big physical player.
He's just a fantastic player.
So maybe Digby's probably the right choice then to play there, probably.
Yeah.
Grego Cox. They have so many attacking options, and they like to take a lot of shots. Crawley, they take a lot of long shots. They attempt crosses often, obviously with the size of Ollie Palmer. They quite often control the game in our opponent's half. So maybe the part of the game Tuesday where we had to defend against Colchester wouldn't have been such a bad prep, so to speak.
Like training almost, isn't it?
They rotate their first 11 quite often, so I think that's a thing to possibly prey on. And they're an aggressive side, Crawley, I think. They've got so many bookings this season. Sesse is on 7 bookings, Doherty's on 6, Lubala's on 5, Lewis Young's on a large amount as well, but as we are known for this season, they are weak at finishing, scoring their chances.
Oh, so it's got 0-0 written all over it again, has it? 2 0-0s in a row. There you go.
To go on to what Boro can do, they're very bad. They're very weak. They've been given a very weak rating for defending against skillful players. Okay. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see List and Sanupe in the lineup Saturday.
Sounds good for us.
Through balls, they're very weak. They're very weak at defending it against them, and I think that's something that impressed me Tuesday because we haven't seen enough of that player that will just break the line.
Being positive and going forward with the football, yeah, I completely agree.
Defending against long shots, they're weak. So
something that we need to do more, I think.
Yeah, and keeping possession of the ball. So we have to work on our second balls, and I think
Pressure.
I think Tuesday for the first time, maybe Morecambe as well. We won all our second balls. We're starting to win the midfield, so I think there's definite weaknesses to play against.
I tell you what, really interesting stats there. Sounds to me that this is quite a winnable game for us, considering their state that they've had this week.
Definitely.
Massive game, and look, 17 points for our club would be massive and get us 3 points away from that bottom place and get us into that pack above. We need to start playing off against these teams above us, and I think if we do that with the performance last night, let's try and kick on and get some wins and get up to near 20 points by Christmas, leaves us in a good place for the second half. We'll come on to team selections really, really quickly before we get on to the debate. Danny, I'll come to you first for your team. Really quickly, just fly us through your team, Danny. Tell us who you've got and why you've chosen those players for Boro.
Obviously, Farman's got to go in, as always.
Yep.
Right back. Doing
it off the cuff.
Yeah, I am. I'm just trying to think. Lufa, if he's fit. I don't know if he's fit actually.
Well, he wasn't in the squad.
He wasn't in the squad last night. I'm not sure.
Maybe saved for Saturday. I don't know. But if he is fit, I'd go with Lufa, obviously. Because he's the main.
Will probably
Man,
have
right
to be
back.
Terence if not.
Yeah, I reckon Luther's probably injured, I reckon.
Yeah. I'd stick with Lufa just in case.
Okay.
I believe Cuthbert. I want to put Cuthbert in, but is it?
He come on last night.
came on
Yeah, he
last
looks
night.
fit. He looks fine. He
I
was
don't know who's fit and who's
No,
not.
Cuthbert. He come on. He played really well. He was running up and down the touchline. He looks fine. He's probably come back from his little injury.
Captain. So Cuthbert goes in. Now
Nuge isn't fit.
Nuge isn't fit. So this is, although this kind of Paul Digby. Although I want him in centre mid.
Nugent is a warrior, I reckon.
Or you could argue Luis Fernandez.
Yeah, that's a big shout.
Luis Fernandez.
The only thing is though, you've got to try and, in my opinion, you've got to try and replicate our back line to what they've got as their forward line. So Fernandez against Palmer might not be the best.
Well, you say that. We had Clayton Donaldson and James Horn down there, didn't we?
True.
He had both of them in
Palmer's
his pocket.
not quick, though.
That's no easy thing.
Yeah, no, true. Look, Louis a
that
player that
worries
can
me
play forward.
about
He's excellent.
Fernandez. He can't deal with pace. Obviously, Palmer doesn't really
point.
have
Yeah,
pace.
That's a good point.
fair
That's a
point.
very good point. I thought there was a couple of times last night where he got caught, didn't he?
Well,
not all the time, but the fast left
Actually,
wing.
last night I thought he dealt well with the pace, but I think against Carlisle is the one we're thinking about.
Yeah.
You had Harry McCurdy and
that's true.
McCurdy Olomolo left him.
Is that left back?
Chris Stokes.
Chris Stokes,
He's
okay.
been excellent
So you got the
all
back four.
season. In my midfield, I'll chuck Digby in there. Of course, Digby's got to go in there. I'd like to see Tom Saws again.
Played last night.
I'd like to see Tom Saws play. I don't know how well he got on last night.
Played
but,
well.
He was alright.
Played very well.
come back from injury.
Experienced player.
Yeah, experienced player in that midfield. We need
Can
someone
drop
like
back
that.
if necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, who else?
Charlie Lakin.
Yeah. Good again last night, wasn't he, Lakers?
Yes, he was.
He's got to play. Carter's got to play, I think. And I'd stick Sanupe as well.
Okay.
I'd play Sanupe.
Up top?
Cowley.
Cowley and... You've got four in the middle.
I
of the
reckon Curtis might be back.
Curtis, yeah.
Oh, really? Is Curtis playing?
Speaking
Well,
about
I'm
Curtis,
not too sure.
I've seen
got the
something on
healing
his
thing on.
Instagram photograph, and he put on his caption "loading," which means
Maybe. He's getting in.
Quite
loading
possibly.
on his
Okay,
way
I like
back.
that team, Danny.
Yeah.
That's
If Curtis ain't fit, Craig's got to play.
Craig's got to
with
play.
Cowley.
He worked his socks. He was shattered last
I'd
night. He was
have
done.
Carter and Sanupe both out wide,
Yeah.
and then Saws and Lakin. No, not Saws and Lakin.
Yes, Susan Lakin.
Was it Saws and Lakin?
Yeah, Sauce and Lakin with
And then
Curtis
we
up
had
top and Cowley.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
That was it.
really
That was
thanks for your team, Dan. Reece, flyers for your team. Explain why you've chosen the Boro team.
I wouldn't change too much from last night, because I thought it was really effective. The system was really effective. So it's a shift back to 3 at the back. So we'll have Farman. I'll have Stokes in the back 3. I think he's a better centre back than he is a left back. I would have Cuthbert back in, and obviously then Cooten I would have in that back 3. Left wing back, I would stick with the same wing backs. I think that works last time. So I'll go with List and Lakin as my wing backs. In the middle, I'll have Digby. I thought he's so effective, and I said it to someone else last night. Him as a screen will be absolutely perfect, a Jack King-esque player. I would have Timlin just over Sauls, I think, next to him. Just in front of them, I'd have Charlie Carter.
Yep.
As I said, they struggled to defend against skillful players, but I don't think I can take watching 90 minutes of Sanupe.
Broad aspect, but there you go. Sorry, Snoopy.
No, that's unfair. He got a good assist.
Well, he played all right last night. Actually,
Won the
Snoopy.
pen. He just doesn't run enough for me. It's too lacklustre, and I don't think you can have that. And then up front, I would stick, even if Kurtz is back, I would stick with Macca and most definitely Cowley.
Cowley, I like that team. Oh, thanks for that team, Reece. That's a really, really good team, actually. I like the variety in there. My team, I've gone for a bit of a different team. I've gone for like a 4-3-1-2 type of team. I've got Farman in goal. As always, I think he's been probably one of my player of the season. Sorry. I've got, if Luther's not fit, I've got Terence at right back. I've put Scotty Cuthbert straight back in. I've also put, with Scotty Cuthbert, I've put Paul Digby as centre half. With Scotty Cuthbert, I've liked what I've seen from Digby at centre half the last couple of games. I thought at Walsall he was great, and I thought last night he did brilliantly against Nubla. And I think at the back he's got quick feet, he's good on the ball, he's a tall lad, he's good in the air. I don't mind seeing him there with Cuthbert.
Equally good in both.
Yeah, both. And look, if Nuge isn't back fit, that's why I'd feel Digby in there. Left back, I've just gone for Chris Stokes, same as normal. Midfield, I've got in front of Cuthbert and Digby, I've got Timlin. It was a toss-up between Sauls and Timlin, but Timlin's had a few more minutes in Sauls at the minute, and I'd like to see Timlin there. To the right of Timlin, I've got Charlie Carter. Again, love Charlie this season. He's been one of my best players this season. He's been great. On the left side of Timlin, I've got Charlie Lakin. I thought Chaz played really well last night, and coming into his own. Actually spoke to his dad at Walsall, Charlie Lakin.
Yes,
his
so
dad was there.
I spoke to him at Mansfield. I think.
Yeah, his dad was there. I was having a chat with his dad, and he was saying how much Charlie's enjoying it, enjoying being with Mark and Revs, and enjoying the system. So I think Charlie's come into his own, played really well last night.
Played really well as well.
Yeah, he did, yeah. In front of that three, I've put Elliot List just off the centre forward in a little space of his own. As you mentioned, Crawley struggled with tricky players, so I think Elliot needs to come off the hour, on Saturday and really put in a shift. I think he's the type of player to score a goal or create an assist Saturday with his pace and trickery, so I'd put him there. And my two up top, normally I'd go Curtis, but I'm not sure if Curtis is going to be fit or not. I've got Mikhail Smith and Jason Cowley. I think although we missed a couple of sitters at Walsall, I was really impressed with Cowley last night for scoring 2 goals. And I thought Craig McHale-Smith's work ethic was fantastic. He ran his socks off. He did everything last night to get the win. And I've been really impressed with his hold-up play as well. He's held the ball up really well, McHale-Smith, when he's been marked by big centre forwards. I tweeted
it last night. I just thought he was magnificent against Colchester. And he gave one of the best centre-backs in the league, arguably for me the best, the runaround.
Yeah.
And his hold-up play creates space for Cowley, for the others, for Sanupe to run into. He forced a few good chances. And in the 80th minute, it was in the corner flag and he looked dead to the world. But then he went and ran another
Do you know what I like about him?
17
The last
minutes.
2 games, he's been marked by really tall centre forwards, but his hold-up play with the ball, when he's needed to win the ball in the air, he's been a nuisance. And when the ball's been played to him, his footwork ability on the ball's really good. He's keeping the ball really well, and his work ethic on the shoulder. It's like watching Chris Beardsley, but just a littler version. Isn't
I can't
it? He doesn't
believe.
stop running.
I
does he,
can't
Mikhail
believe
Smith?
Mikhail Smith is 35.
I know.
It's insane.
Do you know what as well? I think he's got a little agenda where he wants to keep. Oh well, I don't know. He's probably going back in a month, but if we keep him, I think he wants to kind of keep Stevenage up because of the disappointment of Notts County last season. I think he's got this. Don't be surprised if he stays in January because he kind of wants to stay and build the project with the club.
I wouldn't be too surprised because I think he's been effective these last couple of games, and I think we're not in a position right now where we can moan about strikers.
Completely agree.
His work rate is superb.
I completely agree. He doesn't stop working. He was great last night.
I hope he scores soon.
35 as well.
Do you know what?
He's
He's the type of player to score and then not stop scoring, isn't he? He might be the answer to our worries. You never know.
It reminds me of Revs when he first joined.
I've got a feeling Wickham might, let him go.
I'd keep him till the end of the season. Look, we need all the centre forwards we can get at the minute.
Wickham don't necessarily need him, do they?
I would definitely look at other centre forwards, but I wouldn't. I would definitely look into keeping Macca.
Hopefully, some of that leasing.com money can go towards the fund for the centre forwards. But really good to go through all that, fellas. Obviously, big game Saturday, 17 points would be great for the club, and 2 wins going into this incredibly tough month of fixtures would be great. Mr. Donnelly, me and you disagree on something, don't we?
Well, hey, we
Which
always
is the first.
man.
Yeah, but this is an actual disagree. I feel like when we debate, we debate. It's like, but we actually disagree on something.
We're going to have a scrap at the end over it.
So, Mr. Paul Digby. At the minute, you want him in the midfield. At the minute, while Nugent's out, I want him at the back. So, give me your reasons.
I wouldn't say I passionately want him in the midfield. I'm perfectly happy with him at centre back. I think he's been magnificent the last 2 games. But me and you have seen him for a screen.
Yeah, he was excellent for a screen.
He was absolutely unbelievable, and I think what we lack. What we lack in that midfield. Remember when Jack King joined, he was everything we needed, and I don't think, as much as I do like Timlin at times, Timlin isn't the screen player almost that just sits in front of the back 4. And what impressed me with Digby was his passing range as well. His leadership will be key, and I think in a midfield that's not so much struggling, but lacking in confidence right now, I think he'd be perfect for it. But either way, he's an exceptional.
I don't get me wrong. I think when Nugent comes back, I'd like to see him in front of Cuthbert and Nugent. I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say this. Actually, I think Cuthbert and Nugent together with Digby in front is the best screen since Bozzy and Robbo and Ashton. I will go out on a limb and say that.
Equally could
hands
be.
down. I think that's I'm not saying it's better. What I'm saying is the best since those 3 of players.
Schumacher and Lee could have
true. Look, Charlie's there, but I just think that those 3, and especially Digby and Cuthbert, they're exceptional players.
It's a great spine.
I really think
it's a great spine. Get Digby, Cuthbert.
Cracking
That's
player.
an unbelievable spine.
For now, my point for now is I like him at centre half for now. While Nugent's out, I like him there because
out for. It could be
true. I like him there. What I like about him there is one, he's a very good footballer and he plays out from the back really well. We've seen that at Walsall. We saw that especially last night. Not so much at Walsall because Walsall was quite a physical game, but more so last night. I thought he played out from the back really well.
All sorts of players. Senior, who's one of the fastest wingers around and has such pace and skill. Callum Harriott as well, and Frank Nubler, who's a physical force but still quite pacey.
Agree.
And then Lavery at Walsall.
But his size at centre half, I mean, he's 6'5", 6'6". Is a great asset. What I really like about him is his feet are fast. As a tall guy, it's very difficult to speed your feet up, especially when you're playing at centre half. When I've had it with my career, when you've had players who you mark who are very fast and they turn you, you've got to get your first 5 yards quick. And his foot pace, is very quick, and at centre half, that can get you out of so many issues when you're on the shoulder, when you've got quick feet. And I liked him there. I liked him there last night, especially at Walsall. While Nugent's out injured, I like Digby to play there. I'm a big supporter of Digby.
I think Terence,
while he's out,
so far this season at right back has been disappointing for me. When I've seen him at centre back, I've been a bit more appreciative of him. I think he's been superb when he's played there, and I think Terence is a good defender. I would happily put him there.
Who do you think's better, Digby or Terence in that position?
That's an impossible question. I think Terence has the bigger ceiling. I think Digby's the better footballer. But I would put Digby in midfield, as I said.
Yeah. Danny, who would you choose at the minute? Who would you put centre half? Would you put Digby? What would you do with Digby? Would you put him centre half? Would you put him in midfield at the minute?
At the minute, he'd have to go to centre half, just simply because.
I think Stokes is a better centre half than.
Yeah, Stokes is good.
Stokes can play there.
I think because Digby, I said this before. Digby's main position was, central defensive midfield, which is pretty much, defence and midfield.
I think he's a good player.
He can play in both.
Do you know I like him there though? Because he's a good footballer and he's really good with his feet and he's tall. He's a perfect player there for now because, as I mentioned earlier, he's quick feet and his ability on the football is very good. Although, when Nugent comes back fit, I've said that Cuthbert, Nugent and Digby as a screen and the spine of that team, that is, I can't see many teams getting through that and going forward with him as well because he's tall. I'd imagine he'd score a lot of goals. I don't know what his stats are like at Forest Green on goals.
I don't think it's very addictive, man.
Isn't he a really good free kick taker as well?
I think he can wallop one.
He took one and it was like, what? He nearly scored. And apparently, I remember seeing when we first started him, it was a bit of a set piece.
Well, you look at set pieces stuff. He's 6'5", so he's a massive threat from there. And I think. Me and you said it before. What Sampson was really good at doing was creating partnerships. So Cuthbert and Stokes at centre back or Cuthbert Nugent. I don't want to have to create another one at the centre of defence when our defence has been so good. So I'd put Digby in an improving area, but still quite a poor area for us.
Yeah, indeed, and that midfield does need improving. Be interesting to see where he plays Saturday, but
definitely.
But for me, I think I'm actually really happy with the team that we've got, and I know that a few people might disagree, some might agree, but I'm very happy with the players that we've got. I think we've got a very good team. I do think there's a couple of players, a couple of centre forwards that we could sign, but I think the ability that the team has, if it's managed correctly and if people stay fit, I've said this, I really do believe that this team, with the quality that it's got and the potential it's got with players like Cuthbert and Digby and Stokes, who are all very experienced, including Farman and Guthrie, when Danny Newton comes back as well, I think this team's got the potential to be a top League 2 side. I just think that everything needs to go fine and players need to be fit.
Do you think that is with Mark Sampson?
Do you know what? I've stuck up for Mark, and I really like Mark. Mark's come on the podcast, but I'll be very honest. I think that he can be the manager. In that instance, I think that he can be the man. Although I think Mark would be really well placed as a coach as well at the club with a very experienced manager. I think you can have two pieces of the argument. I think with experience, I think Mark, in my opinion, is going to be a great manager. Right? I think he's going to be a great manager.
At this level.
There is that argument, but I think he's going to be a very good manager. But then also, you've also got the argument to say you can also see Mark as a second, where you've got a Football League manager with him alongside him as a coach. I think he'd be very successful in that department as well. So it's a difficult.
I'm not too sure he would take it, to be honest.
Well, yeah, there is that. That'd have to be a non-league manager.
He's been caretaker manager for what? Months now. Why would he just go, okay, I'll be coach again?
Yeah, there is that.
Coach again. I think he's been given assurances that if he improves the form, then he'll be...
Although he's had his apprenticeship, hasn't he, as a manager, and you think, well, if he's given the job, he's learnt a lot of things in these 3 months, 2 months, hasn't he? So, he's
shown adaptability. It's not the same that it was against Carlisle. There's not the same naivety. obviously we haven't spoken about it, but obviously
He's picked up 11 points in 11, isn't he? So it's an improvement.
Huge improvement. Obviously, we said he steadied the ship, and it's a harder bridged gap between losers and hard to beat than it is to become from harder to beat to winners.
Yeah.
All we need, we've said it throughout this podcast, all we need to do is score goals because we're playing good football, we're creating chances, we're winning the midfield. Our defence has been brilliant. We're keeping clean sheets most of the time. The goalkeeper's fine. There's a good team spirit. It's just about scoring goals, and then confidence and belief comes with it. You can't install confidence and belief as a manager. You do that by winning games.
I've said this many times. I think that this team has got a lot of potential to do very well. And as you've said there, the defence for me has been great this season, along with Paul Farman. We just need to score goals. We've scored 12 goals in 18 league games, and in the league, that's not good enough. We're doing it in the leasing.com. We just need to, and I know that we beat Morecambe after Wickham, but we just need to somehow get that performance in the leasing.com and transfer those things into the league games, and I'm sure we'll start winning games.
I don't think
because at the minute it's like in the league games we're just not scoring enough. And we need to transfer that, don't we?
Definitely, and I do believe Mark can do that. There's just something there. I watch his interviews and I'm like, right, I'm with you. I believe it in the process because he knows what's wrong. There's too many interviews. I think that is perfectly reflective of interviews. Dino after Cheltenham will work harder, will run harder.
Yeah, it was all a load of waffle, wasn't it?
Dino, if we run any harder, we might have to stop playing games.
Well, that's it. Mark knows the problems with the team. He knows the issues, so that is a really important thing because, as you just alluded to there, we've heard plenty of deluded managers in the past that have kind of just ignored those issues. We need to do this. But at least Mark recognises that. And I will say that in the interviews, he's very honest. He's got to be one of the most honest Boro managers I've heard for many years.
His Walsall interview was the one for me where I just felt it might change. And I had a few fans say it to me.
You can hear it in his tone as well. He weren't happy.
It was the first time and I mean this with the greatest of respect to Mark, it's the first time I've seen him have balls.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, a bit of ruthlessness. We need to do this. We can't be the
man, there is nothing wrong with his passion for our football club. He loves the club.
And
he loves the
there's definite improvement.
And
not one
I can see him being the man. But this is, and I'm going to say this will make him this job. If he can somehow turn this around and get our team winning and get Boro and up the top of the division, I think Mark Sampson will go down to be a very successful Stevenage manager. I really do. But he has to prove that he can turn things around. Because at the minute, I think that we are so closely. We're so close there. Right? We're so close. The defence is fine. All these things he's sorting out. I know that we've had a few injuries, but he's sorting out the physio bit. He's got 5 wins and 4 draws and only 2 losses in 11. He's got us there. But to push through that barrier, we need to start scoring goals. And if that happens, this team will take off. With Digby back, this team will take off. But he has to prove that he can do it. And I think slowly but surely he's getting there. This month's going to be very telling because if we lose a lot of games, you've got an argument there. If we turn it around in the tough games, then you never know.
The problem is, you look at this month and you could go, well, he's not getting the results. Look at the month. And we definitely need to win Saturday. But you look at the games and you're like, I take a point.
This is it when we're second bottom. There's some of these games.
It's just one of these things. Do I think Mark Sampson is the man? I don't know. Because right now, we're steadying the ship. He's steadied the ship now. Now is the time to prove your worth as a manager. Again,
we're so close to bursting through that bubble. And I think that this Saturday could be that if we get a good win and a comfortable win. Because, when we've won this season, even last night, it wasn't 2-0, was it? Or 3. It was still, get through these next 10 minutes. There hasn't been a comfortable win. And what I think Mark needs is a comfortable win. A 2, a 3-0. And then everyone can go, wow, we've comfortably won a football game there, you know?
as well.
Yeah.
It's like watching someone crawl to a finish line. It's painful. We're not conceding goals. 9th best defence in the league. We're creating so many chances. It's just a matter of scoring them now, and I really, really want him to do it.
I will say this,
I believe he is a good coach.
I will say this though, if he can turn this around, I think he'll go down as a very successful Boro manager. But I think the next month he's going to tell whether he's going to do that or not.
Well, I think
I back him.
In my opinion, I think we
If
need
he
to
keeps
make.
us up, he's done a magnificent job.
If he keeps the club up, I tell you, because what will happen is it will be like a Newport job. If we stay up with the stand and with the players we've got, we will go on and be very successful in the Football League. I'm certain of it, but we just need to stay up. But there you go.
I think we do need to make an appointment before we're all.
Yeah, something needs to happen.
We're
I don't know
all
what Phil
drunk
Wallace is
on
doing,
New
but
Year's Eve singing.
I'd give him the job personally.
The one thing I do want to say though is he spoke very, very, very well about the FA charge.
yeah, well, we can't get much.
Well,
too much
we
into
won't
it,
go.
but,
We won't go into it. But
obviously, we've got to wait. He has
the
to
club
respond to
finally
SIP,
released
doesn't
a statement, didn't they? So
Yeah,
that was important.
But no, it is. I am rooting for him, and he says all the right things. He loves our club, and I love him
and
for that reason.
There, the signs are there,
and he's improved a lot of aspects. If we look at his form over the last 11 games, 5 wins, 4 draws, only 2 defeats. He's improved aspects. He's steadied the ship. He's got us 4 wins competitively, and I really think that he can be the man for the job. He's just got to prove now that he can be the man for the job in turning this around. So, interesting to discuss that though. It was really, really good to go through. Now, we've been going an hour, boys. We've got 2 more sections to get through, so we'll fly through the next. Not the only game this week, so we'll get on to the League 2 roundup. Now, quick mention before we get into League 2 roundup. Now, originally, we would normally talk about the League 2 fixture prediction competition. Now, there have been some worrying people in this competition worrying about the league table's not up. The league table will be up tomorrow. So by the time the listeners listen to this, the league table will be up today on the last competition, which we did a week and a half ago, 10 days ago. Now, we're not going to go through the league table because we've been going an hour and obviously we've come to the end nearly of the podcast. So what we'll do is I will tweet and Facebook out the League 2 fixtures prediction competition for this weekend. So please get involved and we'll get back on track with that. League 2 roundup this week. I'll quickly go through the league table before the fixtures and then we'll talk about go through our fixture predictions. Really quickly, league table, get it out and over the way. 24th place, 14 points is Morecambe. 23rd place with 14 points, south the bottom. Come on, the Borough is our Stevenage. 22nd, 19 points is Walsall. 21st place with 19 points is Carlisle. And 20th place with 19 points is Oldham. Up the top of the table, first place, 36 points is Swindon. Second place, 35 points is Forest Green. Third place with 34 points is Crewe. Fourth with 33 points is Exeter. 5th with 31 points is Cheltenham, 6th with 31 points is Northampton, 7th with 31 points is Bradford, and 8th with 29 points is Plymouth. Fixtures for this Saturday, a whole list of fixtures. We've got Borough versus Crawley in our big League 2 game. We've got Bradford v Newport, Cambridge v Plymouth, Colchester v Salford, Exeter v Northampton, Forest Green v Scunthorpe, Grimsby v Swindon, Macclesfield v Crewe, Mansfield v Cheltenham, Morecambe v Carlisle, Oldham v Leyton Orient, and Port Vale v Walsall. Now, we will come to our predictions, boys, for the weekend. We don't need any explanation with these fixtures for the competition. Danny, I'll come to you first. Fly us through your predictions, mate. No need of an explanation because we've just been going over an hour and we've got about 10 minutes left. Off you go.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Bradford 1, Newport 0. Cambridge 1, Plymouth 2. Colchester 2, Salford 1. Exeter 1, Northampton 1. Forest Green 2, Scunthorpe 0. Grimsby 0, Swindon 3. Macclesfield 0, Crewe 2. Mansfield 1, Cheltenham 2. Morecambe 1, Carlisle 2. Oldham 1, Leyton Orient 0. Port Vale 2, Walsall 1, and Stevenage
The big
1,
one.
Crawley 0.
Brilliant. He's gone for a Boro win. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Danny. Reece, flyers for your predictions. No need of an explanation. We've got about 10 minutes left.
Bradford 1, Newport 1, Cambridge 1, Plymouth 2, Colchester 0, Salford 1, Exeter 1, Northampton 1, Forest Green 2, Scunthorpe 0, Grimsby 1, Swindon 4. Can I guess abandoned for Macclesfield?
Yeah, no. Oh, well, if it's abandoned, you won't get any points. But if that's what you think.
I'll go 0-0. Mansfield 0, Cheltenham 1, Morecambe 1, Carlisle 2, Oldham 1, Orient 0, Vale 1, Walsall 1, and Stevenage 2, Crawley Town 0.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Reece, for your predictions and a Borough win. I'm going straight off the cuff. Borough 2, Crawley 0. Come on, the Borough. We're going to get a win this Saturday. I'm certain of it. And get up to 17 points and start our tough month in good form. My predictions also are Bradford 1, Newport 1, Cambridge 1, Plymouth 3, Colchester 2, Salford 1, Exeter 0, Northampton 1, Forest Green 0, Scunthorpe 0, Grimsby 1, Swindon 3, Macclesfield 0, Crewe 2, Mansfield 1, Cheltenham 1, Morecambe 2, Carlisle 2, Oldham 2, Leyton Orient 1, and Port Vale 1, Walsall 0. So a different variety of goals and games, and I think Borough are going to end up winning 2-0. So yeah, really good to go through that. I will tweet and Facebook out for the listeners the Fixtures prediction competition. Please get involved if you haven't already, but it will be very difficult for you to catch up if you join now. So it might have to wait until next season if you want to join. But look, if you want to join, feel free to join and we'll get that sorted. Now, boys, we're coming to the end of the podcast. Now, I did tweet and Facebook out questions for the podcast, but we didn't get any. Now, we've been going.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, we've been. Yeah, I know. It's probably because the podcast went on last week. Everyone's forgot about the podcast. Now, we don't have any questions. We can do our own questions, but we have been going just over an hour and we've got about 5 or 6 minutes left, so it's up to you.
Should we have a question each?
Question each, really quickly. Reece, you ask Danny. Danny, you ask me. I'll ask Reece. Here you go. Done. What's your question, Danny?
Well, one.
Make it easy. One that I'm going to answer.
Right.
Go for it.
December. Crawley at home, Newport away, Crewe at home, Forest Green home, Plymouth away. How many points would you take? How many points do we need? So, 2 separate questions.
Okay, looking at the fixtures.
Sorry, how many points would you take? How many points will we get?
I'll take as much as we can get, to be honest. I'll give you a number. As much as we can get, that's it.
One?
I'll give you a number. 1 point, that's realistic. Also, I think we'll win Saturday, so that's 3 points. I think we'll win Saturday. Newport, we could get a result there. I'd say a draw there, so that's 4. Don't think we'll beat Crewe at their place.
It's at home.
Is it at home?
It's after the charity game.
Maybe, but we don't have a good record against Crewe, do we? So I'm not sure. Plymouth, home park, very difficult place to go.
And Forest Green at home.
And Forest Green at home. Realistically,
Let's pick a number. What would you choose?
I think we'll get 5.
5 points?
I think we'll get 5.
Would you take 5 points, or do you think we need more?
I'd take 5. Do think we need more though.
I would.
Open this to you.
I would like us to get at least 6 points to get us to 20 points per Christmas.
I would honestly 6 or above.
If we can beat Crawley, I'd like to think we can snag another win. Whether that's Newport, whether that's Crewe, whether that's Forest Green or Plymouth.
I think
I'd snag that.
We'll get another win. And
ideally,
I'll get a win this
I've got to be honest.
month
I
and
think
2 draws.
I think ideally, to get 2 wins. I think 6 points would be a successful month.
I think we'll get 2 wins and a draw.
Yeah, I'd nick a draw. Do you know what? I think we'll win Saturday. Do you want my honest opinion? I think we might beat Forest Green on Boxing Day. Yeah, and I think we might nick a draw at Newport. So I think 6-7 points. Yeah,
that's fair. That's my question.
Yeah.
Your question, yeah. Danny, any questions for me off the cuff?
Off the cuff, let's think of one. This could be hard.
Anything Boro related for the listeners as well? We've got about 4 minutes left, boys.
Oh, okay. Let's think of a question.
If not, I can ask Reece.
You think, and Matt can ask.
Yep, okay. Reece got a question for you then.
Reece first, and then I'll come back to you.
Would you take... It's a good one, actually. I'm going to use this for the debate originally. Would you have Boro down the bottom of the season for the rest of the season, staying in 23rd place, but to win the leasing.com trophy? Or would you have Boro to climb the division and get up the table, but not win the leasing.com?
Surely irrelevant, considering we're winning both.
Well, I mean, if it happens, it happens. But if you had to choose one, would you choose?
I would, as long as we don't get relegated, I'd absolutely take a cup run.
Yeah.
Bad seasons don't stand the memory, trophies do.
Yeah, okay, really well answered. Danny, got a question? If not, don't worry about it.
No.
Disgraceful, Judge. Now, we've come to the end of the podcast. Again, we're very sorry to the listeners about the questions, but no one sent them in. I think they forgot the podcast was on tonight. Really quickly before we go tonight, the 21st of December, 10 o'clock in the morning, it is the Stevenage Football Club Podcast Charity Football Match 2019 event. Now, it's shaping up to be a really big event, actually. Today, we created our Just Giving page. So if supporters would like to go and give for children with cancer, a great charity and a great cause and aid for the charity, to go and give some donation to the charity, please find our Just Giving page. It is been posted on Boro Chat, so if you want to find it, it's on there, it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook. Please go and find the Just Giving page. I'll tweet and Facebook it again for people to donate. Please go and donate to that. This Saturday, I'll be giving the kits out to the boys. We've done the numbers are sorted, and I'll be coming around with a scoreline sweepstake in the Broad Hall Suite. So anyone wants to get involved for that, it's £2 entry. Half of the money goes to the charity, half goes to the winner, and if no one predicts the scoreline correct, then it all goes to charity. So it's quite a good cause. Looking forward to the event, boys.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to Farley's 11 winning.
Oh, not a chance.
Thrash you, lads, honestly.
Me and Farley are wearing the same number. I'm Georgie.
We're going to thrash you. For the listeners, myself and, well, me and Harley have been asked to be on the pitch at half-time talking about the event.
Oh, so, I thought he was going to do the half-time activity.
Yeah, well, no. Mr. J. Drakford is doing the Boro Bear Challenge, and then after he's got me and Harley on the pitch at half-time talking about the charity event. So all the fans and all the listeners, you'll see us on the pitch at half-time. I might even start a Farley Vlogs.
Oh,
which would be good on pitch side. Could you imagine it on the halfway line? That'd be pretty cool. So we're gonna, for the listeners and supporters, please keep an eye out for that. Please video us if you want and tweet the podcast. It'd be really, really good. But we've got that going on Saturday. Anyone wanting to come down to the event, please come down. A few of the boys are coming down, Mark and Revs, etc. Hopefully, and hopefully a few of the players. It'll be a great event. For a great cause, and then obviously we've got a massive home match against Crewe a few hours later. So if you want to come and watch 2 games of football in a day, make a day of it before Christmas, please come down and support us, and obviously support the Farley's 11 in thrashing.
Not a chance.
Donnelly's team. It'd be really, really good. Come to the end of the podcast, fellas.
Can't wait to lift
really
the trophy.
No, you won't.
Don't
Don't
be
be silly.
face.
Fellas, really quickly, come to the end of the podcast. Huge game Saturday. 17 points would be great for the club, and to start December with 2 wins, obviously with Newport, Crewe, Forest Green, Plymouth, Northampton, all the tough games coming up, and then obviously the games in the new year. Really quickly, 3 words. Reece, win, draw, lose. What are you going for?
Win.
Win. Danny?
Of course, a win.
Win, and I am going for a win too.
Shock.
Make 3 of us. Shock. I don't think I've ever said draw, lose.
We've never said loss.
No, exactly.
We have to at some point.
Thanks to the listeners for getting involved with the podcast. I say thanks for getting involved, but we ain't done any questions. Well, no questions or 3-word analysis. So it's just for the listeners for listening. But thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with episode number 24 of Boro's big build-up to Newport away.
Our European tour.
And I'm just saying, for the listeners, we're all going on the train next Saturday, aren't we, and getting drunk and having a bit of a bonding session before the chat results. Like, come on, Stevenage, hopefully we'll win away at Newport. That'd be great. Thank you to all the listeners. We'll see you back next week for episode number 24. Again, come and say hello to us in the Broadwell Suite on Saturday, and keep an eye out for us on the pitch at half time. Thanks for listeners. You've been listening to the Stevenage Football Club podcast.